Musically.
And welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How y'all doing today? How was your weekend? Did y'all have a good weekend? Is y'all week off to a great start? Well, I hope it is. It's kind of vacation for some of us, right? Get a couple days off to enjoy the holidays. So anyway, I hope you all are having a fantastic week, and I hope that you all will have a wonderful holiday. So anyway, thank y'all so much for pulling up today. I'm so happy to see y'all here. I see y'all getting in this room. Y'all know I got to do my spiel. Today's show is going to be, a show that shifts today. That's just where we at with that. So anyway, I want to thank every single person for pulling up tonight, whether you're watching us live on Facebook, whether you are catching us on YouTube, the replay, whatever. I see you, I appreciate you, and I love you. You know, I really definitely appreciate y'all. All right, I see y'all comments. I'm going to bring them on in a minute, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do my spiel so we can get to this conversation, right? We got to keep it in front of us, all right? So, as always, you know, y'all already know what I'm going to say. Y'all already know what I'm going to say. On YouTube, Relationship Soup, period, right? Hit that subscribe. Let YouTube know that this content is cool with you. All right. On Facebook, if you want to follow me, well, actually, if you want to join the group, it's RelationshipSoupGroup, right? If you want to follow me, it's RelationshipSoupLLC. And then listen, y'all, the greeting cards, right? RelationshipSoup.com. You must hit that up. You absolutely must hit it up. All right. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all again. I really appreciate you. I really, really do. So let's see here. I see Jay Desiree. Hey, Jay Desiree, how are you? How's your week? How's your Tuesday? You having a good Tuesday today? All right, let me know. Talk to me. All right, y'all. So anyway, let me go ahead and get into this thing. I did put the link in the chat. If you want to get in this studio, let me go ahead and put the link in there again. If you want to join us live in the studio, feel free to hit this link right here. Hit this link, follow the prompts, and you can go and come in. If you want to share what you are grateful for, because we're talking about gratitude today. Right? We're going to talk about gratitude. We're going to keep it in front of us. We have had a previous show where we would talk about gratitude and all that, but we're going to keep it in front of us, and not just because it's the holiday, right? That's a muscle that you got to flex every day, right? So anyway, so if you want to get in this room, get on in here. It's enough room. We got enough room for you. I see a couple more comments. Clarence, what's up, Clarence? Thank you so much for tuning in. Can't wait to get you in this here studio and talk about some things and build. So anyway, let me know when you're ready. Samuel Jackson. Happy Thanksgiving, Mr. Jackson. How are you? How's your Tuesday? How was your weekend? Did you do anything interesting? Let us know. Oh, happy Tuesday, Derek. How are you? Anything new going on with you? Let me know. December. Yes. Okay. All right. Locked. Look, locked. You are locked in. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into this. I do have some guests in the studio that want to come on and they want to join the gratitude conversation. Okay. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes with y'all to talk about this gratitude piece to get it started. And then I'll have my guests come in and we just kind of vibe. And if you want to join in, let me know. I'll put you in. Like one of my students was talking earlier, put me in, coach. All right. So y'all, let's talk about gratitude. All right. So this episode, let's pause, let's breathe, and let's honor gratitude. Let's be present in this moment, because how often does life be lifing? How often does life kind of take you out of your whole routine? How often does life make you miss the small things, right? So today we're going to pause for that. So just know that gratitude is not just a feeling that we tap into once a year, not just because it's Thanksgiving, right? It's, like I said, it should be something that we flex every single day. It's that thank you after you getting out of bed. Do y'all say thank you when you wake up? Do you be like, thank you, Creator? Thank you, right? It's acknowledgement even in challenges, because let's just be real. Like my guest talked about last week, the holidays, there's a lot of challenges, right? Life be lifing. So even being able to have gratitude when those challenges happen is huge, right? Gratitude stretches us, it matures us, and it invites us to look again and see things differently, right? So anyway, tonight as we gather, let's just make sure that we are sharing our experiences, that we are sharing in the light and love of gratitude. All right. Are y'all ready for the shift tonight? Y'all ready for the shift? I am. I'm always ready for a shift. You hear me? Growth. Growth is a beautiful thing. All right. So y'all, let's look at it like this. Okay. So this is something that I want to share with you all. Okay. Gratitude during the hard seasons. I really want to hit this because, it's different areas that gratitude covers, but gratitude in the hard seasons. Okay. Some of y'all probably going through a hard season right now. Okay. And just know, practicing gratitude is not denial. It's not lying to kick it with what's going on in your life, right? It does not erase the difficulty. It just helps you to center and anchor yourself, which is really important when you are facing challenges, right? It allows you to acknowledge the pain and possibility at the same time. Because how often when you are in a challenge, when you are facing challenges, that's all you see. You don't see anything else. It's just straight up the challenge. There's no positive light. There's none of that. But gratitude can help bring that to center. Okay. So I just want everybody to take the pressure off. That's something my daddy used to say. And I know that I've said that on a previous episode. Take the pressure off, right? Allow yourself to, okay, you're going through this, acknowledge the challenge, but let's balance that. Let's find the balance. All right. So this is something that I want to ask you all. Okay. And then I'm going to get my guest in this here studio. Something I want to ask y'all, and feel free to share it in the chat. What's something, it's a little slow. What's something this year that challenged you, but also grew you? Can y'all think of something? What's something that challenged you, but also grew you? For me, let's see here. Patience. It just seems like there were so many situations from professionally to personal where it was like I had to practice patience. And for me, that is definitely a challenge. But you know what? It's growing me more and more and more because I'm realizing the benefit of patience. And I know that I joked on a previous episode. I was like, yo, I don't never pray for patience, because I've always been an impatient person. So anyway, I just wanted to share that tidbit with you. And, we've talked about gratitude in the past and how to acknowledge it and all that stuff, whether it's taking that moment to say thank you, whether it's honoring a boundary, whether it's reaching out to someone, whether it's just being grateful for whatever's going on in that moment, right? Just make sure that you're practicing that. So this is what I'm going to do, okay? Because I don't want to be leaving my guests in the studio because it was just nice to come spend some time with me today. I'm going to bring on my guest, and we have a few prompts. And if y'all have questions or whatever, I see that there's a technical issue. Let me know if you're not getting the messages or whatever. Just let me know if you're not getting them, and I'll repeat it or whatever. Sometimes it's technical difficulties, and you know what? It is technical difficulties. You know why? Because Mercury's in retrograde, right? And it's still in retrograde. Me and my students was laughing about that earlier today. So anyway, charge the Mercury retrograde. Not me, not my heart, or if I paid my bill. All right, y'all. So let me go ahead and do this. I do see your comments. Let me bring on a couple of these comments, and then I'm going to bring my guest on. Let's see here. Friendships, old one dissolves, new one blossom. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That can really be a beautiful thing. Same here, Patience. Listen, Marcus, thank you for joining me. Patience. I'm learning to welcome patience. Okay. I'm still learning. Oh, hey, M. Woodson. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you. See, and now you know what? Now that song's going to be in my head. Thank you. Every week you bring the old school lyrics. So thank you. I really appreciate that. All right. So let me go ahead and do this. Let me see who's in the studio. I see Larry Jones is in the studio. You ready? Come on, Larry. Blink one for yes. Okay. All right. I see Music Man is in the studio too, but I don't see his. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and bring Larry on. And I'll bring Music Man on as well. How y'all doing today?
Grateful. Since you're speaking of gratitude, just grateful to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How are you, Mr. Jones?
Feeling good. Looking forward to the conversation. I'm always game to hear people highlight the good things in their life. So
absolutely, because it's so much around us. Like, I guess depending on what your algorithm looks like I try to click on a lot of affirmations, a lot of positive self-help stuff, but sometimes that algorithm is a fool. It's all kind of negative stuff, bashing, all this crazy mess. So yeah, we just gonna bring a little balance with this episode. That's all we doing. Just bring a little balance.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. And Larry, thank you so much for the information that you shared. I am still hearing about that episode. And when I tell you, I had a doctor's appointment actually a couple days after our episode. And I made sure to get all those tests done and everything. And, I got my results back and everything looks good. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you shared that information in your story, because I'm telling you, my listeners, they really took to that. Like I had someone had called me and was like, man, my back hurt. You know what I mean? So it's like all of it. So I think some of us, because even I said that, I was like, man, my back feel a little funny. Right? Okay. All right.
Right.
Thank you so much for that.
No, absolutely, Lisa. And I appreciate you allowing me to share this story and this information, because awareness is the beginning. So awareness begets action, and hopefully people who are well will continue on that path, and people whose numbers are a little bit off will make the necessary corrections.
Absolutely.
It starts with awareness. So I appreciate you giving me the platform.
Absolutely.
Yes, and go get the book. Go get the book.
Oh yeah, you gotta get the book. You absolutely must. You gotta get.
Well, you know how that goes. You know how they say, the book is usually better than the movie, although the movie was very good.
Absolutely right. I'm guilty.
Or the video in this case.
Absolutely.
I am totally guilty of that. You hear me? All right, so let's see here. We have some comments. Hey, Uncle Larry. I'm telling you, my listeners, whether it was through call, DM, or whatever, you really made an impact. So,
I like to say, thanks for the Teddy Pendergrass lyrics.
Yes.
Not everybody knows about come on over to my place and turn off the lights and close the door.
You got to be real grown for those songs. That's grown folks music.
Absolutely. Let's see here. So Fonda says, happy Thanksgiving. That's fine, Fonda. Thank you so much for tuning in. Halo says, how are we feeling? What's the topic? We talking about gratitude today, Halo. So I know you're going to come with something. I know You are going to come with some gratitude. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into a few of these prompts. What's this? Oh, okay. YouTube is different. Okay. Yeah. YouTube can be, but they still have an algorithm. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
You look at something's phone, just be prepared. You're going to see 10 more. I'm just
Indeed.
saying. I'm just saying. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to these prompts so we can just have this conversation. Let's see here. Now, let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this. I know that I posted this a little bit earlier. Okay, so since y'all in the studio, I'm going to ask y'all directly.
Okay.
Okay, so what challenge this year secretly grew you the most? I already shared mine.
Yeah. So I'll actually talk about my experience. Shout out to my mother who's watching. Miss Jones is watching live.
Hey, Miss Jones.
My mother, his sister, is watching. So hey, Miss Jones. So I mean, going through a lot of ebbs and flows. My mom, kind of shared briefly that mom has been sick a lot in 2025, and there's been a lot of ebbs and flows that I've gone through. A lot of late nights, and I'll even share, to the listeners. I watched my mom witness her die on a table in the hospital with emergency room running through the floor, and they resuscitated her, and she's alive today. So I'm just grateful, and it's taught me that you don't take anything for granted, even the breath that you breathe. And just going through the ebbs and flows of that has taught me that you always have to look at the silver lining, because if not, life will life on you, and it will drive you crazy, literally and figuratively. So those challenges have made me stronger, wiser, better. And I'm just like super grateful, genuinely grateful for everything that I have, even the breath in my body.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Yeah. Wonderful.
So what about you, Uncle Larry? What you got?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to go that deep. We're just talking about this year. I mean, my entire life is something that has been challenging, and I'm grateful for all the roadblocks that have been put in the way. But for this year in particular, I had a knee surgery back at January 31st, and I was surprised at how it affected me. My blood pressure dropped tremendously, and so I thought, oh no, I'm having kidney problems again, but it wasn't that. Just learning how to walk again. I may have mentioned this last week, but I try to walk a minimum of 100 miles per month. And so that February and early March were kind of a challenge, learning how to walk again. But I'm back out there. I got 130 miles in last month, and on my way to another 130. So I'm very grateful and thankful for the return of my health and strength.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I see we have some questions in the chat. See, we talking about gratitude, ZRUI. I see y'all. I'll bring those on at the end. Okay. I will bring those on at the end. Hey, Mark Lee.
Mark Lee, how's it going?
Yes, absolutely.
Good to see you.
Absolutely. All right. So Mark says, new executive director, a non-for-profit, and watching family members fight health issues. Okay. All right. So I do have another question. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat as well, so our listeners can participate as well. All right. It's taking a little while. Okay. All right. So name one thing that brings you calm, something that instantly softens your spirit.
I'll let you go on first, Uncle Larry, on this one.
All right. Well, for me, again, I take walks. So I tend to walk in nature. And this season in particular, fall, which I love, I guess watching the leaves quietly just change into this beautiful array of colors. It just kind of calms me. It reminds me that most of the powerful things are done without effort. It's just on not effort on the human point of view. So it brings me calm when I watch the leaves sort of voluntarily disconnect from their life support, so to speak. And walking in the park is almost like, walking through a bag of potato chips. That kind of calms me. It just brings everything into perspective, the crunchy sound. So, and of course music, but I only can name one. So I'm going with that.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I'd say for me, something that brings me calm, I don't know what it is about birds. Like watching birds calms me. It really does. Like even when I was at the doctor's office the other day, my doctor has this bird feeder right outside of her window or whatever, outside of one of the the rooms or whatever. And it was so many birds and just how peaceful they were. It really was calming. Like I'm literally looking at all of these birds. I'm seeing cardinals, blue jays, all these birds, and it was just so calming. It was like the window was a TV and I'm just watching nature. Like nature for me calms me as well. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I would definitely say, yeah. All right. So let's go ahead.
I was going to say, most people probably can guess what calms me. I mean, my name is Music Man. So, put on some good music and zoning out, put on my headphones and, kind of like Uncle Larry, walk outside, get a touch of nature. But music really calms my soul, in those moments where, I need to be reminded that God is still good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that too. Music definitely is very calming. It can be very, very calming. All right. So let's see here. We do have some more comments. So Vonda says music. Okay, yes. That's fair. Derek says a hug, laughing but very serious. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. A hug can definitely bring calm, right? Especially if it's from your specific person. You got to love that. All right, so let's see here. So Mark Lee says Mother Nature and seeing birds and butterflies. And Halo says, everything that we're experiencing is a result of what we have given our emotional attention to. Think about it. Your attention is definitely your act of appreciation. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. 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 That makes sense. Your outer reflects your inner, right? I've heard that. So, okay. All right. So let's see here. Nature calms me, birds, squirrels, etc. Okay. That's what's up. Okay. Let's see here. So what else you got, Music Man? I know you got something.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, the other thing really honestly like calms me is prayer. So I spend, just time in prayer, meditation and laughter. Like comedy is healing. So, I like to make jokes even through hard times. We've had conversations and, myself and Uncle Larry, I always like to throw a joke in there because like laughter is therapeutic. I mean, you got to laugh because and that gives you to a place of gratitude. Like, and even in the midst of it, it's that silver lining. Like I can find something to be joyous about because, I've talked about this before where happiness is happenstance. So you're always looking for existential things to be happy for, but joy is internal and goes outward. So you have to make a decision to be joyful. And, it's from the catalyst of being grateful, which is what we're talking about today. Gratitude, attitude, will breed joy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I see that there's another comment. Meditation and good food can absolutely it can.
Lisa, we know a little bit about your food.
Listen,
8 p.m. Lisa's gonna be really happy about 8 p.m.
Food can be food is like even soul food, like it is therapeutic. Like it really is. Like certain foods do bring calm or they help to get those good hormones going. So yeah, that's the absolute truth. So let's see here. Maha mantra. Okay. That's what's up. Mantras can be good. Affirmations, mantras, prayers. Absolutely. I love laughing. I do too.
Yeah, comedy is great.
Comedy is absolutely great. It is absolutely great for that gratitude,
Yes.
and calm. Absolutely. All right, so let's see here. What else do we have? A good shower is calming. Absolutely. A good shower, a good bath, right? And just being grateful that you have that hot water and that you have shower water, you have clean water, right?
Yeah. And another thing that makes you grateful too is, affirmations and motivation from friends, when you're down, and just uplifting words of saying, hey, you can make it, you're going to be all right. I got you. Those things are like the greatest acts of love. And then somebody praying over you, like just when you're down, like that'll make you grateful for life and put you in perspective. Like, hey, life is still good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. Hey, Dr. Cooper, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're just talking about gratitude. Nothing too crazy, right? We just kind of taking it easy, as we go into this little holiday, this little holiday week. So, what are you grateful for, Dr. Cooper? Let me know. Even the washing machine is calming. Yeah, especially the throwback machines, some of these new ones are irritate me. Like, I have this washing machine. Okay, now, all right. I was grateful that I did have a washing machine.
Start with gratitude.
I was so grateful for my washing machine. It just made this little it was just like
that's how my washing machine sounds.
But I am but it's different. Like my Speed Queen now is totally different. The sound is different. Like I really feel like my clothes are getting clean. Like it's different, right? But I'm grateful that I heard that sound, right? I'm grateful for my hearing.
But that's actually, I was thinking about that. The agitator was agitating you. Listen, and then you found gratitude.
Listen, that washer just it may it rest in peace wherever it is. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say about that. May it rest in peace. All right, so let's see here. We actually have some other people. Hi, Demetric. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Prayer room and sit in silence. Oh my goodness.
That's amazing. Yes.
Oh, that moment of quiet, right? I try to do it every day. I aim to do it, not try. I aim to do it every day. Sit in silence, right? That's very, very necessary. So let's see here. I see y'all comments coming on. And Dr. Cooper says, I'm so grateful for wisdom. Yes, wisdom and knowledge. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. And supporting Black businesses. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Holidays are coming up. Yeah, support some Black businesses. And I'm grateful for you, Lisa Hughes. You are a whole vibe. Thank you, Dr. Cooper. I appreciate that. It's mutual. It's totally mutual. It is totally mutual. I'm definitely grateful for that. Now I just go with the flow of life. You have to. You absolutely have to go with the flow of life. Be present and flow, right? And I know that I've shared this before, but I just found this wisdom so profound when there was a elder I was speaking to, and I was actually talking about some stuff that I was going through or whatever. And he was telling me, Lisa, make sure that you are not stiff like an oak tree, in life, you should flow like the branches of a willow tree, right? And that just always stuck with me, right? You got to be able to flow, because when you're stuck, that's resistance. And that just brings energy that is indicative of being resistant. So you definitely want to be able to flow.
Absolutely.
So let's see here. A good book can be calming. Absolutely. A good book can definitely be calming. What you reading, Mark? You reading anything new? Y'all reading any books right now? Let me know. I see. Grateful for family and friends like you three. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We appreciate you, Mark Lee.
Absolutely.
And as we talk about, gratitude, the gratitude comes out of the Latin word gratus, which, there is lineage from that. So like when you say, I appreciate you, that's the act of gratitude, or you do a kind act for somebody. That's gratus, which, again, we turned it into gratitude. So, and I think that, I know that gratitude is always preceded by action. So like when you appreciate something, there's just a natural flow that happens by, showing appreciation for, friends, family, loved ones, and so forth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think, I want to piggyback on that. I think, gratitude, appreciation and also helping people that are less fortunate than you, or supporting people. It gives you an appreciation. It gives you, I don't know, it's a warm feeling when you're able to help someone that may not have this, that has more struggles than you have. So it makes you realize how blessed you are. You know, there's a poem. It's not a poem, but a quote from an unknown author that says, "If you want to touch the past, touch a rock. If you want to touch the present, touch a flower. But if you want to touch the future, touch a life."
Wow.
So, you know, so I think helping people, it just brings a warm sense of, I don't know, it's just that calms me, you know.
You know, and I agree with that. I agree with that, because I can even think of, you know, in times where it was challenges, and, you know, I would just go volunteer. You know, I would go help like causes that are close to my own heart, like, you know, battered women, the women's shelters, youth, and stuff like that. And it is amazing how healing it is and how calming it is. So I'm sure that has something probably to do with like, you know, like the brain releasing some type of dopamine or serotonin or whatever, those feel good chemicals. That's probably why one of the scientific reasons why that's so good. You know, other than, you know, you bring the spiritual and the physical into that, right? But just scientifically speaking, you know, there's chemicals and stuff that are being released when you're able to be grateful, practice gratitude, and even, you know, in helping someone else, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's why every year I donate to homeless shelters and you know, sponsor kids, you know, from my church that are less fortunate, because God has been good to me, and I'm so grateful for the things that I have. So, you know, I think to call yourself blessed, you have to be a blessing. So I always like to bless and give, and you know, I'm just, you know, one of those people who is grateful. So I have a giving heart. So I love to bless my people that's around me and that's connected to me. So
absolutely,
Well,
absolutely.
that's a good thing. I think too, you know, when you start focusing on yourself too much and your problems, you start to have, you know, sort of a pity party for yourself. So sometimes I'll say, you're looking out the wrong end of the telescope. Just turn it around. You know, it's not all about you. There's a whole world out there with people who have, you know, everybody's got something going on. So sometimes you just have to broaden the lens and just not be so pinpoint on yourself. So just turn the camera around sometimes.
Absolutely. That's good advice. That is really good advice. Yeah. And it's something how like just gratitude can bring you back to self, right? And it is so empowering. Like, you know, just it seems like something so small, but the benefits are massive, you know. So
absolutely.
let's see here. We have a few more comments. Let's see here. Appreciate that, Halo. Saw some old pictures of events. Was grateful for memories. Absolutely. Yes. And you know, even those that, you know, are experiencing grief during this time. I know this time of year is, you know, a little tough for me, right? It's bittersweet, right? But being able to just be grateful for those memories of those loved ones that are no longer here, just being able to look back at those pictures and be grateful that you have pictures or videos or, you know, whatever memories pop in your mind, you know, just being grateful for that is, you know, that can help with the grief a little bit. That has helped me. That has absolutely helped me. All right, let's see here. So Mark says, were you going to say something? I have a delay, Maurice.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, you know, talk about, you know, one of my favorite songs. I think this is universally our family song, the Joneses, is that be grateful. And so, you know, it's one of those, you know, puts in perspective, you know, the lyrics actually go as God has not promised me sunshine. That's not the way it's going to be. But a little rain mixed with sunshine, a little pain makes me appreciate the good times. So, you know, it's like, it puts you in perspective of like life is going to have its ebbs and flows and ebbs and flows. But if you can stay in that middle ground of just being like, okay, but I have these good things over here. This life may be life and over here, but I still have this. I might be, you know, going through a crisis financially or a relationship crisis or a health crisis. But hey, I still have these things to look, you know, forward to and be grateful for. So it puts it in perspective is that, you know, you can have blessings and you can be going through hardship at the same time. But that's that silver lining of coming through like in spite of, I'm still grateful.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that relationship piece. And
Yes.
so often in relationships, I mean, there could be, discord
Corals.
or whatever, whether it's a romantic, whether it's family, whether it's whatever. And one thing that I started doing, like when I would experience that discord or whatever, I would sit down in my quiet, and then, I would make a list of what I'm grateful for.
Yes.
Whether it was a lover, whether it was, what I mean, family member, friendship, whatever, just to be able to do that. To me, that's a shift in itself. It shifts the energy. And to me, it seemed to bring more positive, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
For anybody that's experiencing any discord this holiday season, because we know it comes out.
Yeah. Family discord, friends, lovers, ex-lovers, those things come out, in different ways. But, again, the bride of gratitude, is positive thinking and appreciation for what you do have. And in those discourse, we kind of talked about it, on the last show and previous shows where, and Uncle Larry, I know that you are big on this. It's later than we think. So you have to appreciate the people that's around you. Like, don't leave things unturned. Talk about those things. Family, they'll get together and have these quarrels from 20 years ago or 30 years ago, or friends that have these quarrels. It's like, if they died tonight, would you be cool with living it like the way you left it? Let's be honest. Because don't be, don't people be boo-hooing at the casket and like, all this stuff. But like, don't leave it like that. Say the quiet parts out loud. Address the elephants in the room and heal from that. Mm-hmm. And that will make you grateful for the relationship that you have with these people, your friends, loved ones. So, I just think that, gratitude is such a healing property in your body, and it's a hard connection, because if you have a hardened heart, it's hard to be grateful when you think that life is lifing on you and you think God forgot about you, or nobody's around. But it's like, the thing about gratitude too, the things that are seemingly happening to you are really happening for you.
Absolutely.
And I know that's cliche, but everything is orchestrated. God is very calculated. So, again, gratitude is a beautiful thing, and you move different because people will think you putting on a front, and I'm a joyous person. And, even when life's on me, I believe in passing, joy, like you said, volunteering for people. Like, I go to homeless shelters during the holiday season because I want to spread love, because there's so much hate and divisiveness to spread in this world. And, hey, spread love, not hate.
Absolutely. And I like what you said about that too. And I was just having a conversation not too long ago, like delays and, it's not necessarily denial, like it's redirection, right?
Yes.
And if you look at it from that perspective, and if you believe that all things work out for the good, all things work out for the good. So although, and I'm not going to lie to kick it, because I'm going to be human first. More than likely, I'm human first. Like, I get all that elevated stuff. Because I do eventually get there. And, I would tell anybody, even whether it's your shadow, where you're at, if you're being human in a moment, be grateful that you can be that too, right? You should be grateful for all parts of self. And to me, that contributes to your growth, that contributes to just even inner peace and even knowledge of self, when you can be, grateful for all aspects of you, right? So
yes. Yeah. And Lisa, I know you've had, we all have our grievances and ebbs and flows. What was the catalyst to help you get back to joy and gratitude? Because in those hard moments when life is beating you up, and what was the shift, and how did you come out of that?
It was definitely, for me, it was a combination of things. Because if I'm thinking about those moments, it was a combination of things. It was, allowing myself to grieve, allowing myself to go through it. And then just realizing that, I didn't want to stay stuck there. But when I was ready, and, I've always been blessed with a support. Like, those people, they know who they are, that, when everything hit the fan, they really helped me a lot. They absolutely know who they are. I say were, because they still here. So just even them ministering to me helped a lot, from my bishop to, my mama to, my homegirl Tweety, to, it was just so many people during that time that, I crossed paths with, that helped me to, that spoke that life into me. Right. So that combination of things, I pray, I meditate, and then I fast too. So it was a combination of things that helped me to be like, okay, let me go ahead and, all right, let me level up a little bit with this, right? And I didn't do it too fast. I took my time with it. And, you know, so, and that's what I would tell anybody too. You don't necessarily have to rush whatever it is, whether it's rush to forgiveness, whether it's rush to get back to yourself or whatever. You don't necessarily have to rush, and don't let the world tell you that that's what you have to do. Be human first.
Yeah. And you have to give yourself grace. Absolutely. Uncle Larry. Yeah. And Uncle Larry, you know, I know you have perspectives, you know, you've had some amazing life experiences, you know. Can you address in your own life how you know, dealt with grief and how you were able to come out of that and get back to the heart of gratitude?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I think with each decade of life, you learn something new, you know. Like I was saying earlier, once you frame things in its proper perspective and you realize that everything's not against you, I see some people have referenced poems and things like that. I think one of the books, probably when I was in my 40s, maybe, I remember reading The Four Agreements.
The excellent book. Excellent.
Yeah. And so when you stop taking things personal, that's one of the four agreements. You realize that it's not intended to hurt you. Everything's not against you. If you go to scripture, you know, the book of James, where he talks about count it all joy. It's not to deny that you're going through these things, but it's just like, you know, anything in life. If you're going through class or going through training on a job or playing sports, it's your job to find out what the lesson is. It's not to sit there and just complain about it. It's like, all of this is done for my edification.
Yes, yes.
Doesn't mean that you don't feel it right now, but you got to snap out of it. You know, back when I was a basketball player, long time ago, if you made a turnover on offense, you can't sit there and argue with the ref or the ref didn't call a foul. The name of the game is get back on defense. You can't stay at the other end complaining. So it's sort of a metaphor for life to me in that sense. Like, you can sit there and waddle in it, but that doesn't really change anything. You've got to find out what the lesson was and keep moving. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you said something.
I totally agree with that, because, you know, that spirit of offense is really real. And, you know, that spirit of offense can keep you from your blessings. It can keep you from living in the moment. It's something that you really have to recognize, and you have to get through that. You absolutely have to get through that spirit of offense, because it can blind you and keep you stagnant in a place. So what were you going to say, Maurice? We're going to have to, we got to get
so what I was going to say, you know, kind of pivot off Uncle Larry, is that the fact that, you know, when you go through ebbs in life and you're really growing and developing your spirituality and really becoming grounded in gratitude, you know, I'm in a place in 2025 where, you know, and I'm still working on me, but moving from why is this happening to me or for me, or, you know, in that vein of like, why is this happening, to what is it trying to teach me? What's the teachable moment, you know?
Absolutely.
And what is God trying to do as far as transforming me to be a better version of myself? And so, you know, we have to go through deconstruction before we go through reconstruction. So, you know, when life is actually, you know, happening on you in this life, and you got to understand that that's the deconstruction only to get you to the reconstruction to be a better version of yourself.
Absolutely.
And you can be grateful in those moments, you know, but it's like, it's not happening to you. And you got to just look at it and say, hey, this happened for me. What is this trying to teach me? It's going to be all right. God's got me.
Absolutely. One thing I like to say when I'm going through something, like, only good can come to me, right? Only good can come to me. That helps me a lot, you know, even though, you know, I might go back to whatever that, you know, moment was, you know, only good can come to me. And then just realizing that's something else that you both touched on, that nothing in life is personal. It's all for our growth. It is. It really is. And I know it sounds cliche, and in the moment you'd be like, growing what? Growing for what?
What? Yeah.
I ain't interested in growing right now. You know, I'm feeling away. I'm in my feelings, right? Which, you know, feelings are not necessarily fact, but, you know, that's a whole other show. But anyway, so are there any additional words you want to add before I'm going to take you both off? I'm going to do a couple true, false. I'm going to wrap up, and then we're going to get out of here.
Yeah, I'll let you go, Uncle Larry, and then I'll finish off.
Well, again, thanks for having me on the show. This is a great subject going into the quote unquote holiday season. One of the things that I say to myself now is, there are two types of people in the world. And every morning I get to decide which one I'm going to be today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'll just say, as we're going into the holiday season, and of course, Thursday, what we call Thanksgiving, just live with the heart of Thanksgiving, because when you are grateful, you attract more to you versus repel things against you. So great gratitude breeds blessings. Ungratefulness repels them.
Absolutely. I love it.
Right. So again, Thanksgiving, not thanks receiving.
Next. Although we're gonna be receiving that macaroni and cheese.
Bring a plate, Lisa.
You already know, like I was talking about it in class today. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I can just taste the Thanksgiving victuals. You hear me? Like
absolutely. The holiday of gluttony.
That's very true. And that's another thing, be grateful for your temple. Treat your temple right.
That's
moderation. You can eat anything you want, just moderation. Well, okay, let me not say that. Again, this does not substitute medical advice. My dad used to tell me, because I've been pretty health conscious a long time, and my dad said, just in moderation, little girl, you can smash that,
balance.
Piece of pie, just don't eat 10 of them. Right?
Yeah. What did you say, Uncle Larry, about grown people and candy bars? What's your statement about that?
I'm gonna leave it alone. Like, by the time you're 40, if you haven't had enough candy bars, shame on you.
All right, so I'm gonna take y'all off of here. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Gratitude.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, boom. So hopefully you got something from that commentary. Let's see here. I do see a few of your comments. Let me bring on as many as I can. Let's see here. Lisa's counselors, absolutely they are. Absolutely. Love my counsel. Absolutely love them. I was about to say 4 Agreements. Yes, the 4 Agreements. Absolutely. That was a phenomenal book. You got to read that one more than once. I'm grateful for discovering African-centered knowledge. Dr. Clark, Ben Welsing. Oh, yes. Renoko, Rashidi. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm grateful. I am aware of some of them as well, Derek. And I will say I'm very grateful for that knowledge. Absolutely. Let's see here. Is there anything else? All right, y'all, I'm going to do a quick true false. Y'all know I try to get these true false in here. Let me get at least one in for today. Let's see here. Let's do this true false right here, y'all. All right, so true false. Okay, boom. Practicing gratitude can physically change our brain. Is that true or false? What y'all thinking? True or false? False or true? What y'all think? Can it change our brain? We know it can change our perspective on things, but can it change your brain? What y'all think? True or false? So I will leave that up there. I see you, B. True. Okay. I see you. Tonality says true. Derek says true. Okay. All right. And the answer is true. It says that neuroscience shows gratitude activates the prefrontal cortex and strengthens neural pathways linked to positive emotions. So, hey, listen, gratitude, practice it. All right, y'all. So y'all know it's getting close to time, and I do want to get my affirmation and stuff in here before we leave. Want to get those thank yous out there, all of that. So, I definitely appreciate all of you for listening today. Oh, Holly, I see you. Let me go ahead and bring on your comment. Thank you for all the information and knowledge that all give on here. I appreciate you. All my blessings to you. Thank you so much. And blessings to you, Holly. I appreciate you as well. Beautiful. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. All right. So let's just go over a few points, y'all. Oh, I see you, Holly. I'm going to bring it on there since you commented. True. Yes, that is absolutely true. All right. So gratitude interrupts anxiety, right? So just know that, even when you're feeling anxious, practicing gratitude can actually help you to regulate that, right? And start small and aim to be consistent, give yourself grace. Sometimes it's just something that you have to work up to, right? It's like building a muscle. You just got to work up to it. And just put gratitude in motion, a massage, a hug, an invitation, a kind correction, a boundary. These are all forms of appreciation, right? And another thing, just remember, life expands for those willing to acknowledge the good that already exists, okay? Now, let me go ahead and bring on this affirmation, and then I'm going to get y'all out of here. Y'all already know the closer it gets to 8, and I'm always so surprised, like nobody ever hears my stomach growl. So, and I know I need to do better. I do need to do better. I hear y'all judging me, right? But Tuesdays are my busy day. I'm just saying Tuesdays are very busy for me. So anyway, all right, y'all, I'm gonna bring on this affirmation. Y'all know I love my affirmation. So let me go ahead and put it in the chat. It's pretty long, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read it, okay? All right, so this affirmation, I give thanks that every good thing prepared for me is now making its way into my life. I walk in gratitude. I speak in gratitude. I attract through gratitude. Divine abundance flows freely to me, through me, and around me. I am open, I am ready, and I am grateful now and always. So that's the affirmation for today. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I want to give a shout out to everybody for listening. Everybody in the studio, I appreciate y'all. B, Music Man, Larry, I appreciate y'all. All the listeners tonight, I appreciate y'all. I don't ever take it for granted, okay? Shout out to my mother. Mama, I told you I was going to go live this week. I know it was a busy week. It's been a little busy, but I'm here and I'm live. All right. So thank you so much for always supporting. Shout out to Lyric, the Grishams, Aunt Anna, and all my viewers. I love you. Thank you so much. And happy birthday to Lyric. Happy birthday, Sag. All right. So again, make sure that you're liking, subscribing across all platforms. You already know. I know. Listen, if y'all are watching this and y'all have not subscribed, y'all are not right. Okay. So on YouTube, it's Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period in there. If you want to join the forum, it's RelationshipSoupGroup. I just approved some members today. It's going down. Get in there. Get into the conversation. If you want to follow me, it's RelationshipSoupLLC. Okay. Don't roast me. I see you, Reese. I hear you judging me. TikTok. TikTok is Relationship Soup if you're on TikTok and want to follow us there. The website is RelationshipSoup.com. Okay. All right. I see y'all comments. I just want to make sure that I bring everybody on. Oh, no worries, Courtney. Happy birthday to you too, Courtney. No worries. It's all good. You can just watch the little rerun or whatever. Yes, TikTok. Yes, Relationship Soup is on TikTok now. All right. So just Relationship Soup. It ain't no period on that one, just Relationship Soup. So anyway, thank y'all again for joining me. I really appreciate y'all. Definitely have some good stuff coming up. Oh, I cannot wait to share something with you, and it is coming very soon. Let me get your comment off of there, Reese. Absolutely. My pleasure, Courtney. My pleasure. Absolutely. All right, boom. So let me make sure that I got everything off of here so that we can peace out. And y'all know it always starts with you. It always starts with self. Love yourself. Give yourself grace and be open to a little gratitude. Start small. It ain't got to be nothing big. It don't have to be one time a year. Just flex that gratitude muscle and see what a difference it can make in your life. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I love y'all. Thank y'all. And until we meet next time, peace.